This is the Ferro-Tube Firestarter by For You to Survive. And this is going to burn for a long time, so I sort of have my survival flashlight. Today we're going to make this amazing fire starter. It involves a pen, a ferro-rod, a little hacksaw blade, a little ring, some jute twine, and some wax. You light the jute twine, it has wax on it. There we go. Pretty impressive already. If you want to start a fire on a wet day or something, give yourself the best chance for starting a fire by giving yourself a lot more wax jute to burn. You need less flames, you kind of like go like that so you can control what you have. A lot of you may know that jute twine is good for tying things, and that's very true, but it's also a fire starter. And I unraveled the fibers, so I'm going to take my Fatwood Ferro-rod fire starter and I'm going to fire this up. Boom, right away. So we can see how good that is, but what if I wanted to make the jute even better? I'm going to take some wax. I have Gulf wax here, and it comes in a block like this. And I'm going to put it inside my dog bowl. And I'm going to melt it. Once it's done melting, I add the jute twine in there. It's time to melt this wax. I'm going to use one rectangle of wax. I don't want it to burn, so I have to watch it vigilantly. That wax looks like it's melted. I'm taking it off the fire. The wax is melted completely, so I'm ready to dip my jute in there. So I got to do this before it hardens up. I got my reverse wrap jute cord. I'm ready to put it in. I put a little knot on the end, then I put an overhand knot. That way things will hold together. But now it's time to dunk it. We'll let it soak. I'll turn it over. We'll give a good soaking so that way there's a lot of wax in this jute cord. And that's what's going to make things work out really well. I didn't want to make the reverse wraps too tight because I want to make sure that the wax can soak into the jute. Starting to really get it. I'm going to throw in this extra little cord. It's going to be a handle for my Fatwood Ferro-rod fire starter. Here's the product. We're going to let it dry now. So I have this rolled up nicely, and here's a piece that I have. First thing I did was I took an arm span. And I did some reverse wrapping to this. Let me show you how good this can be. I'll use about 4-finger length. I'll unravel it because I want more surface area to happen. So the more finer fibers, the better off I am. Because this is supposed to be a wet weather, kind of rough weather, inclement weather survival tool. Because there's wax in here, this should burn a lot longer. There it is, right away. And that's burning pretty nicely. And it should burn quite a while to get a fire started in damp or rainy weather. It has a much longer burn time than what I did earlier because the wax is the fuel. I took some jute twine that has wax in it, just a single piece of jute twine, and I tied it into a knot so I can fit my hand around it. And there you go. I have a handle for my Fatwood Ferro-rod fire starter. Now I made it even better. So I made it so I had a loop here. So I hung this up in a tree to dry, and now that I have this loop, I can make this even better. I'm going to put a ring in here. I have a little split ring here, so that's going to go in the loop. This ring is going to keep things from coming apart too. So that's a really nice feature. So now I got a ring in there. I have these hacksaw blades. They're carbon steel, so I'm going to take one. I want to be able to use this as a striker for a ferro rod. So something that I can grip. I can grip this okay, so I'm going to break it off there. All right. Break off the other side. There. Put that inside the little key ring. That's going to be my striker for a ferro rod. Let's do a little test. I'm going to use the back of the hacksaw blade. There we go. So we got the fuel part of the fire starter ready. Now it's time to talk about the tube part. So I have a pen that's metal. I'm going to rip this piece off. I'm going to take a hacksaw and cut off about a 2-finger length of this tube, which is from the pen. I made this hacksaw in my socket video. So now it's time to saw it carefully. I only want to use metal for this project. I have sandpaper here, and I'm going to smooth things out a little bit. That way there's no sharp edges. What I need to do is get a ferro rod on here. Generally, the fire starter is done once you have the wax jute inside the tube. I can use this as is, and I'm good to go. So I want to make this even better though. I'm going to add a ferro rod on it. This is going to get a little sparky, but that's how it goes. I have a piece that's as long as my little pen tube, and just like before, I want to clean it up. The sandpaper will smooth it out nicely. Yes, sandpaper does give sparks. So now I got my ferro rod on the tube, and I'm going to glue it on with JB Weld. Just like before, I don't need much. Just enough to keep it on there. Two drops. I'm going to use the stick to mix it up till it turns gray. This is the 6-minute version, which works a lot better than the longer version because it sets up quicker. Got to do my 6 minutes of holding. This will give me a little time to clean it up. Use some of this birch bark to clean it up. Oh yeah, it finally happened. I got this thing lit. I'm going to wire it up to a stick. I'll wrap around twice to give a better hold. Oh yeah. So the flame went out a little bit because the cordage went inside the tube, but I pushed it out of the tube. Now we're going to get more. I'm going to get more burn because I'm holding the stick and I wired the tube to the stick. My hands are not hot at all. If I wanted to, I could unravel it a little bit, not touching the fire, the flame. That's going to give me more intensity. This is the Ferro-Tube Firestarter from For You to Survive. This actually puts out a decent amount of light. I can see where I'm going. I can see the ground, I can see the leaves. It's actually pretty good. I have more flame here. If I want less flame, I retract it in the tube a little bit, and that'll give me a little bit more control. If I need more flame, I follow the reverse wrappings and I twist a little bit, and more of the jute goes out, and I can get more flame. By the way, when it's time to take it off, just retract it in a tube, and you're done. One tremendously nice feature is you can get the fire to reignite. Less light, Oh, it came back on. Did you see that? That was really cool. And this is going to burn for a long time, so I sort of have my survival flashlight. I don't know if you can see it, but there's water. There's water on these branches. But that's what I'm going to use. I've got to test out my Ferro-Tube Firestarter. What better day? Alright, it don't look like a fun day to start a fire, so I gathered all these twigs. I used gloves. It's time for the Ferro-Tube Firestarter. Here's what we got. Let's make it happen. I started to fluff it up already to give myself an advantage. There we go. Now we're in business. I'm going to start by lighting this bundle of twigs, however long it takes. I'm going to try to let the smoke, I'm going to try to light this bundle of twigs no matter how long it takes. I'm going to try to let the wind help me. I got to give myself some more. I got to give myself some more wax jute. Here we go. It's going to take a while before the twigs to dry out. I tried to pick them as dry as I could, but it's a wet day, so you can't get around that. This is why an extended fire starter is really nice. I want to keep the twigs close together as best I can. Yeah, for the most part, they did kind of snap off when I picked them, but they just feel so damp. It's going to be a tough one. Got to give it time now. I want the right amount of contact of twigs to flame, and that's not easy. The flame went back on, so that was nice. I wanted to check things over. I want more burning time, so I'm gonna I'm going to increase the length of the jute. I'll kind of open it up a little bit. Make no mistake, these are tough conditions today. Alright, now things are burning better. I'm going to try some more. I can kind of leave it in there and pull the string when I'm done, but I don't want to risk burning up my fire starter. I'm going to stay out of the smoke and wait it out. That's all I can do. Keep putting twigs on. Certainly not ideal conditions. Ideal conditions for testing a fire starter, but not conditions you want to be stuck in. I think there's a glimmer of hope now. I'm starting to see some flames get a little stronger. I don't want to push too hard and smother the fire, but need just the right amount of contact between air and heat. The fuel we know is already compromised because it's wet. This takes some patience. I could kind of cover up the fire with my body if it was raining harder, but I do feel rain on my back. In order to keep from getting bored or anxious, it's going to break off little twiglets and put them where they need it to be placed most. Doing this will occupy me so I'm not frustrated or bored. I'm going to want more contact. And it's all about this fire starter now. Once I get this fire going, I got to keep it going. It's times like this that are humbling because you really need to get a fire going, and you can't think I'm all so big and bad that everything I touch is going to burn. This is not easy, and I'm glad I have this fire starter. Now I'm starting to get somewhere. Hopefully this will take off on its own. It's going to have to because I burned up most of my fire starter, but it's a rainy day. We got to survive. I have enough for when times are good, but I'm right at the limit here. But I got a fire going. And that certainly counts. I didn't plan using up all of this jute twine, but I got what I have. I got a fire, so that's the end result that I wanted. Now I can dry off. Here's the fire starter here. I have just enough to start another fire or two if I'm frugal with it, but hopefully that would be under better conditions. The cord I used was triple stranded. I added another strand. This one is triple stranded, but I added a cotton piece. So I have 2 jute strands and 1 cotton strand. And I'm going to try that out. In hindsight, I learned that I should probably start the fire and then pull this Ferro-rod in a tube back and monitor how far the fire goes up the cord. Granted, I want the tube to stop the flames at a certain point, but because of what I had to do, things got a little rough and kind of got away from me. The cotton usually burns a little bit easier than the jute to get started, so I'm going to try that out. My hacksaw blade broke, so I got to rethink my striker. This is why we train. There we go. There's a lot of moisture in there. Those popping sparks are from the Ferro-rod. Well, there you have it, everybody. The Ferro-Tube Firestarter is a success. But boy, oh boy, what a tough day to test it on. Thank you for watching, and we're out.